We're joined with Michael Cohen's attorney, Lanny Davis. Lanny, thank you for being here.
Thank you, Kevin.
And we were just talking, you want to walk back comments that you've made earlier in recent hours about specifically what the president and his legal team instructed for Michael Cohen regarding those payments. Explain.
I had a memory that it was the submission by the legal team that reinforced the notion that Michael Cohen didn't do this on his own, and that the lawyers agreed that it was dictated, as was expressed in court yesterday through the federal prosecutors and Michael Cohen's statement, when in fact what the lawyers did was to acknowledge that there was a reimbursement by Donald Cohen's company with Donald Trump's company, and that reimbursement of the payments made by Michael Cohen. So it was a confusion between the reimbursement issue versus dictating that he make the payment.
The company being the Trump organization.
Yes, and honestly, aside from my misremembering that the lawyers used the word dictate, it was the federal prosecutors who approved the statement that Donald Trump coordinated and dictated to Michael Cohen that he make those payments to these two women.
And it gets to the crux of questions that you've been asked repeatedly, which is, if Michael Cohen has evidence of this, why not come forward with it?
Well, the evidence was spelled out in the statement he made in federal court, and it will be spelled out as the case emerges of what the federal government has. But what Michael Cohen has come forward with is that Michael was told by Trump, do this. Trump signed the checks from the company, paid to McDougal as well as to Stormy McDaniels.
But does he have tapes? Does he have emails? Is there other evidence that you think will come out?
So I don't know the answer to that, but
You don't know?
I don't know what evidence he has, but the information document states that there were campaign officials that we don't know the identities of. The prosecutors haven't told us all that they had that led to this statement by Michael.
Reportedly, your client, Michael Cohen, of course, who pleaded guilty yesterday, did not reach a cooperation deal with the prosecution. Why not?
So I'm not sure I know the answer to that. Guy Petrillo, if I don't seem to know a lot, it's because Guy Petrillo is the criminal lawyer who negotiated with the prosecutors, not myself. But to me, it's a distinction without a difference, because he has authorized me to say that he is 100% going to tell the truth to whoever asks him. That's the functional equivalent of cooperation, so I'm not sure what the distinction is between cooperation and telling the truth to whoever asks.
But do you think it's because they want to see if he's fully going to cooperate with the special counsels? I guess what I'm really getting at is, how do you think? No, you don't. Why?
I know that Michael Cohen is willing to cooperate with anyone who asks him questions, and he's committed to telling the truth. I don't know what the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Southern District decided about using the word cooperation or not.
Do you know if they're looking into the Trump organization?
I don't.
Do you know if their investigation has gone into the Trump organization?
I don't. I only know what happened to my client, Michael.
Has your client provided information about the Trump organization to the New York prosecution or to the special counsel?
In the course of the discussions that led to his guilty plea, I assume that there was a lot of information exchange that led to the guilty plea, but I don't know for sure.
And that information could be about the Trump organization?
Well, we know that, yes, the Trump organization was responsible for initiating the idea of paying off Stormy Daniels and Karen McDougal to keep them quiet for the principal purpose, as stated under oath by Michael Cohen, to avoid adverse impact on presidential candidate, we know, Donald Trump's chances, and that's what made it a crime, because it was motivated for political reasons.
And I want to be blunt here. I mean, so there could very well be, I mean, do you know if there's other employees at the Trump organization who have been in touch with the special counsel or with the New York prosecution?
Well, we know from the information that was filed that there are people unidentified from the Trump organization who are part of this deal.
So I guess
that's all that we
right. Know. So how? But so and folks, trying to understand just what all of this means. I mean, the news flow out of Washington has been incredibly.
Let's try to simplify this.
Well, let me ask you: how do you think it's going to shape? How do you think your client's going to shape the special counsel's investigation?
Well, right now we have strong evidence. I think it's conclusive, but let's at least agree that it's strong. That Donald Trump knew that Michael Cohen was going to be advancing money on his behalf to hush up the relationships with these two women, and that it had a political purpose to it, according to Michael Cohen's guilty plea. Now we'll see whether that constitutes a crime. It's probably the first time in American history that we have evidence of a crime of a president in office, with somebody pleading guilty to a crime and saying that he was directed to commit that crime by a president.